Hello, welcome. Today we'll be discussing the similarities between William Shakespeare's Hamlet and the Batman. I'll start off with a summary, but before we get started, it's really important that this is a more graphic version of the story of Batman, and it contains some graphic images that are vital to the story. We will be starting with a summary of Batman. This version is called Death of the Family. It's part of the New 52 initiative that DC did. So I guess we'll just start. Gotham City has been completely devoid of the Joker for several years. He shows up out of the blue to regain his face from the Gotham City Police Department archives. Yes, he cut his face off. I know, creepy. So, moving on. The Joker threatens the mayor on live TV, and later that night, everyone on the mayor's security detail dies of poison. A series of clues led Batman to a series of places where he had encounters with the Joker and Harley Quinn. The final showdown is in Arkham Asylum, where Joker has taken over the entire facility. The Batman has to fight his way through several mobs of Arkham inmates and several supervillains like Mr. Freeze, Clayface, and Scarecrow. The Joker traps the Batman, and then we discover that the Joker has actually kidnapped every member of the Bat family. The Joker uses this as leverage to get Batman into an electric chair to knock him out for transportation. Batman wakes up and he is in a cave at a dinner table surrounded by the Bat family, and they all have hoods over their faces. The Joker says dinner serves, everyone's hoods and dinner plates are pulled up, and you see that every member of the Bat family's face has been removed, similar to the Joker's. The Joker goes through this whole spiel about how he loves the Batman and how the Batman truly loves him. Inevitably, the Batman finds a way to escape this scenario, but the Joker runs away. There's this long chase, and they end at a cliff. The Joker was going to try to commit suicide, but the Batman grabbed his arm and didn't let him fall. They have a short, heartfelt talk, and then the Batman decides to tell the Joker who he really is. The Joker hates the entire concept of the past so much that he electrocutes the Batman to let go of the Joker, so he presumably falls to his death. In the aftermath, Batman is talking to Red Robin. He says how he once went to Arkham Asylum as Bruce Wayne. He found a way to sneak off to see the Joker. He found out that the Joker truly does not care the identity of who the Batman is. And that is the end of the story. Now we can talk about the thesis of the Batman now that we know more about the story. So my thesis is that modern incarnations of Batman have truly been psychological thrillers, especially the New 52 series. A psychological thriller is usually a storyline where the viewers are unaware or still discuss the insanity of the main character. This is very true in Batman. People discuss the sanity of Batman and the sanity of the Joker all the time. A reason for the discussion of Batman's insanity is he keeps choosing to put the super criminals in Arkham Asylum, and every time they break out and they cause more terror. Now, the definition for the word insanity is repeating the same action and expecting a different result. This is expressed deliberately through Batman's actions, because he keeps expecting that the supervillains would get better through their treatment at Arkham. That is a very good example of cause and effect. It's been there the entire series. Another point to Batman's insanity is his decision of costume. I mean, what kind of hero decides to wear a black costume? Heroes are supposed to instill a sense of hope and a sense of security. Now, a black costume does not give that sense of hope. A black costume is something that a villain would wear. Villains wear black, not heroes. The tone of this entire series is very gloomy. If you were to take the book and just flip through the pages, almost every page would just be covered in dark colors, grays, blacks, every kind of dark color. The only time there's a bright color is when there's stuff like fire, so you get bright reds and oranges, or an acid, which will give you bright greens. So the use of color in this really makes the tone very prominent and very clear. With all that out of the way, now we can focus on the comparison. I'm going to be using the themes, so sane versus insane, reality versus appearance, revenge, decay, and corruption. Those are the four themes that we have for Hamlet. I'm going to apply these four themes to Batman. So to start off, we'll go with insane versus insane. There is a beautiful two-part pseudo-soliloquy that features Batman's thoughts on the Joker's eyes. You have this in front of you. I'm going to guess you've already read this. So what it summarizes is how the Joker's eyes seem unhuman and unmoving until the Batman gets the Joker's eyes to move. But when they move in a way that show love. Only insanity could breed love out of their arch enemy. Also related to this, is the Batman's relationship with the Joker. Now, the Batman can predict the actions of the Joker, and as I said before, only an insane person can predict the actions of an insane man. This has led to discussions with fans on the topic of Batman's sanity. There have been many scenarios where the Batman should have chosen a choice that he didn't choose. And ultimately, these choices have led to, in one case, the death of a Robin. Now, this is similar to Hamlet because over the years, the centuries, people have been discussing, scholars, is Hamlet sane or is he insane? We still don't know. Nobody knows except Shakespeare, who is dead. We even wrote a piece on this about the sanity of Hamlet. We don't know. It's still discussed today, like it is in Batman. Now let's go back to our chart here. Let's just put a check mark there. And let's focus on reality versus appearance. Now, Batman's whole persona is based off of stealth. Now, Batman doesn't have any superpowers. He's just a regular human with a lot of money. He uses his honed skills that he's been training on for years and his gadgets that he's built and acquired, and combine all this builds a persona to criminals that Batman is a superpowered individual, which he isn't. When we see in Tim Burton's Batman movies, common criminals, have just said this. He's a super guy. Like there's nothing we can do about him. Where it's ironic because as a viewer, you know the Batman has no powers. He's just a regular guy. This plays in super well to the reality versus appearance. It's a very literal example. The way this ties into Hamlet is personally, I find that Hamlet is quite sane, and he's using this veil of insanity as an excuse for the actions that he really wants to do. We've seen this done in real life, like insanity pleas in courts after someone's committed horrific crimes like mass murders, which is what Hamlet is almost planning to do and ends up doing in the end. So ultimately, reality versus appearance works well. We're going to put a check mark there. We're going to move on to revenge. As almost everyone knows, Batman's parents were killed when Bruce Wayne was just a little child. Bruce Wayne took this pain from his parents' death and turned it into a driving force to clean up the streets of Gotham. It was a storyline where Batman went to track down Joe Chill with the express view of killing him. Now, Joe Chill is the person who murdered Bruce Wayne's parents in Crime Alley after the movie. Batman ultimately decided to spare Joe's life because Joe only wanted money. Now we see in Hamlet that Hamlet also wants to revenge for the murder of his father. Now, these are two perfect parallels. Both want revenge for the murder of their fathers, and in Batman's case, also his mother. I'm happy with that. I'm going to put a check mark there. Now it's time for decay and corruption. Now, over the course of the story, the Joker's face, his severed face, slowly decays and becomes progressively more green over time. This is literal decay. It doesn't get any more direct than that. Now, a more subtle one is the city of Gotham is the embodiment of decay and corruption. There's corruption at every level, at the police, the government, banks, everywhere. We see that guards at Arkham Asylum have turned to the Joker's side either voluntarily or through some little extra persuasion. It's clear that Claudius is also corrupt in Hamlet because he wants to kill for the power of being the king. It's clear that he's only in it for the power. Ophelia was corrupted by the death of her father, and Laertes likewise by the death of his father and his sister. Now, I'm happy with these comparisons. I believe they're pretty solid. Now, let's move on. With all that done and wrapped up, now is the point in when I ask you, what do you think? Is Batman who we think he is? Or is he as sane as the Joker? Come on, wake up. I'm asking you. Yeah, I'm actually asking you.